What's going on, guys? Today we're going to jump into how to do the sumo deadlift and why it's a beneficial exercise for runners. Let's do it! Woo! All right, guys, before I go into demonstrating the sumo deadlift, let me first explain why runners even need to do the sumo deadlift. Now, I made an earlier video on talking about runners and hip stability. So in other words, if your hip is not stable, what tends to happen is that your knee will track inward, your foot will start flailing outward, and that's where you're gonna have runner's knee. So in other words, to strengthen that hip, it'll help to bring your knee back in alignment. And the other benefit too with the sumo deadlift is that it also strengthens your inner groin. No, stop looking at my crotch. Okay, but really, you want to strengthen that inner groin, and from having the wide stance of a sumo deadlift, what tends to happen is your inner groin is strengthened, which again helps you so that your knee, if it's starting to go outward and your foot tracks inward, it'll keep it nice and in line. So it's a twofold benefit. You get to strengthen your hip flexors and your inner groin, as well as you get to strengthen your glutes, your low back, and your upper back for better running posture so that you're able to stay nice and upright for your runs. Isn't that amazing? Okay, I think it's time to actually go into demonstrating how to do the sumo. Let's do it. All right, guys, this is going into the setup for the sumo deadlift. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start from the ground on up. So that means we're gonna start at your feet. Now the difference between the conventional to the sumo deadlift is with the feet positioning, conventional, you have your feet about shoulder width or a little bit more narrow. Sumo, you're gonna have your feet out wide and at a 45-degree angle here. Now here's a good way to be able to find the right distance for your sumo stance. A lot of people tend to have either too narrow or too wide. What you want to do here is squeeze your glutes, and if you're pointing your toes out at a 45-degree angle, what tends to happen is, boom, you walk out your feet until you get to the point that it's comfortable. Same exact thing here. So boom, I come up to the bar, I squeeze my glutes, and then boom, find the point where it's the most natural. That's your starting foot stance. Next part is your grip. What you want to do here is you want to have one hand under, one hand over. Just think about it. When you pick up something, do you do it with two hands under or two hands over? No, you do it one hand under, one hand over to trap the weight. Here, let me show you an example. So here, kind of gonna be hard to be able to lift this bench up and carry it this way or this way. But if I do that snatch grip, boom. See how much easier it is to be able to carry it? All right, so with that in mind, oh my God, I'm digging up the wall over here. Ugh. All right, so same exact thing, boom. You got your foot stance, one hand under, one hand over. Good spot to start is about shoulder width distance. So boom, there we go. Now, next portion, back alignment. So if you see when I first start up here, how my butt is hiked up really high, what we want to do is smack that tush and get it nice and low. So here, all you're doing is just pulling your butt to the ground, keeping that chest nice and tall. And you want to keep your head in alignment with your hips. What do I mean by that? I'll use this bar here to demonstrate. So here, what you're gonna see is my head is gonna move in alignment with my hips. And that's the exact same thing I want you guys to imagine. Imagine you guys have a bar behind your head, attached to your hips, and boom, it's moving in synchronization motion. I don't even know if that's a word, but we'll say it is. All right, so same thing, when you're grabbing it, the bar here, boom, see how the head moves in alignment with the feet? So boom, squeeze the bum, got the feet positioning, got your snatch grip at the switch grip, excuse me, and then here, boom, bring the hips down, you're ready to sumo deadlift. Boom! Boom! Epic voiceover time. All right, guys, so I'm gonna coach you through the movement and show you from a few angles to make sure that you're doing this movement properly. Now, to start off with, you wanna make sure that you're keeping that bar as close to your shins as possible. This keeps the bar close to your body so that you're not having the bar too far out in front of you and straining your lower back. Now, when you get right here around knee high, boom, pop those hips forward so that you're able to get that bar in the top locked out position and really squeeze your glutes at the top. At the top, you want to keep your chest nice and tall so that just imagine that you have a pair of double Ds. You want to show those puppies off. Also, imagine squeezing lemons with your armpits. This really helps you to keep your arms nice and tight so that you're squeezing your shoulder blades and activating your lats to get that upper back workout. All right, here what you want to imagine is an imaginary wall that's about a foot behind your tush, and you're trying to reach back and touch that wall so that you're sticking your butt out like your favorite smoking hot porn star. Woo! The main reason for this is so that you're able to activate all those backside muscles, your hamstrings, your glutes, aka your booty, and your lower back. At the bottom, you want to take a big deep breath and exhale at the top. This really helps you to get your core nice and tight so that you're protecting your lower back and getting a good core workout at the same time. Also at the top, you want to make sure, as I mentioned earlier, lean back. This really helps you to engage your glutes. And you'll see here in a second, with the conventional deadlift, you're not leaning back as far, you're more upright. The sumo deadlift, because you're in a much wider stance and open up your hips more, you need to lean back a little bit more to really get that glute activation. Okay, a lot of people do not show the backside view, so I thought this would be really beneficial for you guys to see the whole entire movement from the back. Now, few last pointers here. So yes, this builds a lot of hip stability for your knee alignment, but it also helps to build up your core strength because you have to lean forward and back so much over that weight and to protect your lower back. The reason you want a stronger core as a runner is because I'm sure you've seen where you're like leaning forward when you get tired or the last part of a race, and that's because of a weak core, they're not able to stay upright. Also, this really strengthens your hamstrings, where a lot of runners tend to get hamstring strains. That's because your hamstrings are too weak. This strengthens them up. And finally, this really helps you to increase the power in your knee drive so that you're at that last home stretch and you're able to, boom, get that pop. Thank you so much for your support. Wish this helps you become more of a badass runner. Please hit subscribe. More new content every Wednesdays and Fridays. Also check out my fitness blog for more great tips. All right, guys. Estrada-Lopez signing off. Until next time. Woo woo!